Hello, today I've got a yoga block workout for you. So if you have one of these laying around at home, you can go ahead and grab it and head down to a mat and get ready to go. So, starting off on our backs, we're going to squeeze the yoga block tight between the thigh on one side and elbow on the same side. You can go ahead and relax the head down. From here, we're going to lift the other side up. We're going to crunch and reach, extending out as far as you can while keeping the back flat and continuing to squeeze that block tight. So you can go ahead and get situated here. We'll get started in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Squeezing tight, crunching and reaching. Really working to extend that arm and leg out as far as comfortable while keeping that back flat on the mat. We'll squeeze the block a little bit tighter, 10 seconds. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You go ahead and relax. We'll switch sides. Beginning to situate that block on the opposite arm and leg. We'll get started in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Squeezing tight, crunching and reaching on the other side. Again, reaching that arm and leg out as far as you can, working your range of motion here. Maintaining a nice flat back on the mat. Let's squeeze that block a little bit tighter. Home stretch. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You go ahead and relax. From here, we're gonna take a bend in the legs, squeeze the block tight between the knees, and we're going to lift those legs up to 90 degrees, setting the hands under the hips for support to help keep that back flat. From here, we're gonna slowly drop the legs down, tapping the heels if you can, and then pulling back up using the core. So if you start to feel the back coming off the mat, that's your stopping point when you're going to pull those legs back up. Our goal is to keep that back flat. So squeeze that block and legs stay at 90 the whole time. We'll get started in 3, 2, 1. Begin nice and slow. There's no rush. And keeping that back as flat as you can. And squeezing that block nice and tight throughout. We're already over halfway through. Nice, 10 seconds to go. Again, back is flat. Here's 3, 2, 1. You can relax. We'll go ahead and roll ourselves up and flip over. Moving to a plank next and continuing to use that block. So we're going to situate that block right where it just was, squeezing it between the legs. Then from here, hands are going to be about shoulder width apart. Another option too, you can also be on the elbows if the wrists get a little sore with this. And either option 1, holding, squeezing that block, keeping back flat and staying on the knees, or option 2, you can lift up to the toes. Same thing here, and if you'd like a little extra something, you can go for some knee taps as we continue to squeeze that block and try to keep the hips level. So again, you can either go on hands or elbows for that knees, toes, and knee taps. So lots of options here. You can pick what's best for you. We'll go 30 seconds total in 3, 2, 1. Begin to lift up. Again, we're staying option 1, knees, 2 toes, and 3 knee taps. Now wherever you're at, we're squeezing that block as tight as we can. 10 seconds. And here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can take that block out, take a real quick stretch back, deep breath, And we'll flip forward and all the way back down. So starting back at the top, back to our single-sided crunch. And situating that block between same thigh and elbow. We'll get started here in 3, 2, 1, begin. Extending that arm and leg out as far as comfortable. This is a slow one. Good, we're already over halfway, squeezing that block a little bit tighter. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can relax. We'll switch sides here, situating that block between same thigh and elbow. We'll get started. 3, 2, 1, begin. And the focus is squeezing tight, keeping that back flat, and reaching as far as you can. Nice work. Final 10 seconds, squeezing a little bit tighter. Here's 3, 2, 1, and you can relax. We'll remove that block. Legs are bent, about hip width apart with the feet. And we'll squeeze that block tight between the legs. We pull them up to 90 degrees, starting position. Hands below the hips. We'll get started with heel taps in 3, 2, 1. Here we go, tapping the heels. If you can keep the back flat all the way down, otherwise working more range of motion, getting as low as you can before that back starts to peel off the mat. Squeezing the block as tight as we can throughout. 10 more seconds. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can relax. We'll take the block out, roll your way up, and we'll finish out with our plank for our yoga block core. So again, hands, elbows, that's our first option. And then knees, toes, or knee taps. So I'll give you a moment here to pick what you'd like to do. Feel free to mix and match. You have 30 seconds in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. And wherever you're at, keeping that back nice and flat. And if you do the heel tap, or the knee tap, excuse me, make sure to keep those hips as flat as you can. Continue to breathe through. Squeeze that block a little bit tighter, 10 seconds. Here's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll lower down. You can take the block out. Take a real quick stretch back, child's pose. Deep breath. All right, you can shift forward. Feel free to repeat it again on your own if you'd like, a little extra core work. Otherwise, great work. I recommend getting some more stretching after that on your own.